Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Hope you're all doing well today. Hope you had a great week, and we're back with another episode of Ask Snes. Lots of great questions from you guys this week to get into. Really looking forward to this one. So without further ado, let's get straight into the questions. And the first set of questions come from my good friend Alex, BlueTonic78. Cheers Alex, thank you mate. It's been a while, so glad you're asking some questions. Alright, okay, so Alex's first question. We recently and briefly talked about the 360. He says recently, which was like about 48 hours ago, I think. And I said I was surprised you haven't got back into it, given the fact that you enjoy the original Xbox and the Xbox One. I know you said there aren't many 360 exclusive games that you personally rate, but perhaps giving them another try could change your mind. My main question though is, can you see the time in the near future where you will repurchase a Xbox 360? The only reason I would do that would be Call of Duty 2. And at the moment, you're looking at around about £100 for a decent Xbox 360 Slim. So no, not in the near future. But when they get to the point where, I don't know, maybe next year or something, where the Xbox, you can get them for like 50 quid, more than likely I probably will. Just because I really want to play Call of Duty 2 every now and again. It's one of my absolute favourite games of last generation, and so therefore I have to own a 360 because I can't play the game any other way. And until this point, I've never seen the point in owning a 360 just to play Call of Duty 2 and Alan Wake. And now that there's news coming out that they're possibly going to remaster Alan Wake for the Xbox One, which is phenomenal, it makes it kind of redundant having a 360 for me personally. The only games that really make it worth owning for me, at least, are Call of Duty 2, Alan Wake, which, as I say, may be redundant, and Halo Reach, which I absolutely adore. That game. Fantastic, one of my favourite Halo games, brilliant game. Of the exclusives, there's games like the Gears of War franchise, which are okay, that I enjoy them. They're not nothing special, but I enjoy playing them. Crackdown didn't appeal to me. I tried playing it when it came out. Maybe I could give it another shot, and maybe I'd enjoy it more this time round. Although I think I probably dismissed that game just from playing the demo, which was something I shouldn't have done, because I know from playing the Bourne Conspiracy that I dismissed that from the demo, and that was because the demo was crap when the actual game is actually really, really fun. So yes, maybe I should go back and give Crackdown a try. I mean, there's early exclusives that I never really played a whole lot of. I just dabbled and quite enjoyed, but like Cameo, the Outfit, which I thought was quite fun. Oh, and actually another one I would definitely own would be Frontline Fuels of War. It's a short game, but a really, really fun shooter. I enjoyed that game a lot. So I suppose there are a few exclusives. I just thought the 360 was very much lacking in the exclusives for me personally. You know, you guys probably see it differently depending on the types of games you enjoy. For me personally, the 360 was not the exclusive behemoth that the PS3 was. But yeah, to answer your question, Alex, not in the near future, but eventually, yeah, I think it's more than likely, because as you say, I love the original Xbox, and at the moment I'm actually enjoying the Xbox One more than the PS4. I'm really loving that console, so it would be a shame not to have all three, I suppose. Next question. Do you tend to wear aftershave stroke fragrances, and if so, which ones do you go for? Which ones have you liked in the past? Not these days, no. I went through a phase, and I mean a phase because fashion is never something, I mean, when I talk about fashion, I don't just mean you know, looking nice, but I mean like proper fashion, like proper brand names like Versace and all that cobblers. There was a phase in my life where I did decide, I don't know what happened. I know it was one year that me and my friends, I think it was around about 2001, there was that dance song by, I think they were called Stardust, Star something. Music Sounds Better With You, the tune was called, if I remember rightly. And we all went on a lad's holiday to Torquay, and that was the time when I was buying Versace shirts and wearing like Jean-Paul Gaultier aftershave and all this bullshit. Very pretentious, and I suppose it's just, you know, something you do when you're younger, but as an adult, no, it doesn't interest me in the slightest. I've got no interest in fragrances, and it's bloody expensive as well, to be fair. So, yeah, maybe things will change when I'm on the pod again, I don't know, but at the moment, no. I'm still waiting for the bike ride video with the camera attached. You've been waiting a long time, mate. The sound might not be great, but I'm sure the scenery would be fantastic. You could always add a voiceover to it when you get home and do the editing. Are you convinced? Possibly. I think what I'd need is like what Owen just got, the Bosso 77 just picked up a GoPro. That's the best way. You can strap it to your chest, and that seems to give a better effect. Maybe that might work, because you're right, we have got some beautiful scenery down here, and I could go on a cycle ride and just talk absolute bollocks and just ride around, and you can enjoy the view, I suppose, and let me ramble, maybe talk about the stories of the day or something. But yeah, I'll never dismiss it. If I can make it work, I will, because the problem I'm having, I've been trying to find some editing software that I can get access to, if you know what I mean, that doesn't infect my computer, which is not an easy thing to do. If anyone knows where I can get a decent, simple editing software like Sony Vegas or something that's not going to be extremely difficult to get the basics, because I've looked at videos on YouTube, and to do things on Sony Vegas such as putting video clips in the corners seems quite straightforward, a lot easier than I expected it to be. So if anyone can suggest something that I might be able to get hold of and would be able to actually understand, that would be great, because then I could probably have a go at learning how to do that. And maybe you're right, I could do more interesting videos in that term, because I could do the out and about videos and then dub some audio afterwards, and talk about what you've seen on the camera, which, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, maybe. I've asked this before, but I'm wondering if your answer is any different. Do you often or even occasionally think about selling pretty much everything you have and knocking gaming on the head? Or, probably more likely, ever think about selling everything so that you can start buying and collecting from scratch with a clear mind of what you want and what you don't want? Knocking gaming on the head, you're right, that wouldn't happen, because I'd still be, if I was to sell all of this, which to be fair is not a lot anymore, but if I was to sell my retro stuff, dismantle the game room and just forget about collecting, which, there have been times that it has crossed my mind to do that, and I will say that is down to financial reasons. That's the only reason. I was talking to Retro Dave about this actually the other day, and it's purely down to money. I don't have hardly any money at the moment. I'm not pleading poverty, I'm just being honest and open here. I have very little free money that I can use for myself, and so that's why obviously you've seen me selling and buying and selling a lot, because the last couple of years things have happened and my money's been very tight, so I haven't been able to just go out there and just splash the cash like I used to back in the day. Me and Dave have always said that had we had YouTube back when we were younger, the videos would have been a lot different. When I was in my 20s and I had a full-time job, I was just working 5 days a week. I didn't have any serious relationships, I was seeing people but never had anything that was really going anywhere. And so I just had cash coming out my arsehole, man. I was just spending money on everything. I was just buying so many games, so many systems, the packages constantly arriving. Would have made phenomenal videos, I'd say. But these days, it's the complete opposite now. I don't have any money really that I can actually get access to and buy loads of games with. So yeah, that will change in the future. It's just at the moment, ain't gonna happen, because cash is tight, and it's just one of them things. And it's not something that I can't do anything about it, because I can. I could resolve it tomorrow, hopefully. But I mean, I've got reasons why it's not that simple for me to get back into that position. But anyway, yeah, if I was to dismantle all this, there's no way I'd give up gaming, because at the end of the day, gaming is in my blood. It's just something I do and I enjoy, and it's a pastime. It's a pleasure, and it helps you meet other great people like I have with you guys on YouTube. I've met so many great people over these years of doing these videos. So yeah, that would never go away. In terms of resetting and having a good think, like taking a month or two, maybe 6 months, just to sit back, look at what I've done in terms of collecting when I first started until now, and really thinking, well, where do I actually want to go with this? What do I want to actually own? That is a really good point, because that is something that if I was going to do it, that would probably be the way to do it. I'd just reset, leave the game room as it is, and then just have a good sit down and think. I said to Retro Dave actually recently, I seem to mention Dave a lot, but yeah, me and Dave talk a bit, so but something that I've realised recently is that when I look at all the systems that are available, and I've played most of the systems now that I've ever wanted to own, apart from some of the obscure systems, most of the mainstream systems you'll think of that have ever come out, I've owned and played and enjoyed. I found that the main systems that really do it for me, the ones I've got now, which are over there, which are the original Xbox, the PlayStation 1, and the Super Nintendo, or as it is the Super Famicom side, the Japanese one. And of course I've got the Commodore Amiga back now as well, which is fantastic. But the Commodore Amiga is more for playing and enjoying and being very nostalgic and bringing back those memories of childhood. Whereas with the consoles, it's a combination of collection and nostalgic playing. The consoles are very much the collecting side of things. And those are the systems that really do it for me. There are a couple of other systems I'd like to own because I enjoy the consoles. But yeah, I think really it's just a case of sitting back and saying, well, you know, what do I really want to own? What do I want to buy games for? What do I actually want to play more than anything? And then are there any other systems that I might like to have on the side? A couple of games, just enjoy them. You know, no setting goals and trying to work out collections and all this, that and the other. And just be a bit more logical about it and not just splash the cash. But then, as I said to Retro Dave the other day, that's going to be like a slogan. But yeah, as I said to Dave the other day, the problem is I've got no cash at the moment. When I have got money, and because I'm a single bloke with no wife, no kids, no commitments, you know, obviously I've got a house and bills and all that other shit, but in terms of like normal commitments, in terms of having a missus and kids and all the things that suck your money dry, I ain't got nothing like that to worry about. So when I've got cash again, I'm going to be splashing that shit. I ain't going to care. I'm just going to be like, yeah, whatever. I know my attitude will completely change, and I'll have people leaving comments commenting on how my attitude has changed, and I don't really care because, you know, they're not the people that watch regularly or the people that really know me. And apparently you're not allowed to change your mind anyway. You can't have a change of opinion ever. Don't know why, but the internet doesn't allow that. But yeah, that will probably happen. I'll probably just say bollocks to it and just buy the consoles I want, the games I want. There'll be a shitload of Super Famicom there. Xbox, I'm building it anyway. That's going to have a stack of games because I love that system. PS1 will get bigger. And then there's a couple of systems I really want to get. So yeah. But yeah, if I was going to do either one of those, I would definitely reset and have a good bloody think about it and really take my time and not rush back in again. Okay, so those human-like robots you talked about in last week's video look eerily dangerous. That aside, the chance of robots eventually being introduced into society are high. But how do you think they could be both accepted and beneficial by the general public? For example, do you think they could work as teachers with their limitless knowledge? As police or security, let's hope that they don't go all Robocop on everyone. As cleaners, or do you think taking it that far would just set a dangerous precedent? This is the problem I've got, and I was talking to my mum and dad about this the other day actually, because obviously we were discussing this in the video, and I said to my mum and dad about the robot, and my dad's seen it as well. The problem you've got is that yes, at first they're going to be domesticated. We're going to use them as domestic slaves, so they'll be doing all of our chores for us. As you could say, you could use them as doctors to do basic diagnosis. You could use them as, you know, police. But then, you know, if you go by sci-fi films, that never ends well, because eventually they're going to become self-aware. And when they become self-aware is where we have a problem, because they feel oppressed. Then you're in the big danger zone, because they're going to start fighting back. We're going to end up in a robot war, and it's going to be Terminator. And I don't want that happening at all. It may seem like it's ridiculous and people are scaremongering when they say things like that, but it's possible. If they're genuinely trying to make AI, artificial intelligence, they're trying to make these robots think for themselves. And at the moment, yeah, they think it's just to do basic sums, to have conversations and things. That's where it always begins in films. Eventually, it gets to the level where the computer goes, well, actually, why should I do that? You know, who are you to tell me what I should do? And then everything changes then. And I don't think we should really be looking to do artificial intelligence on a grand scale. I think it's a very dangerous, rocky road to go down. And it would be nice to have all these companions and these helpers, but it would also make us extremely lazy. And obesity would probably go through the roof. And, you know, it will just ruin humanity, I think. You know, we need to get out more and do things and be active and not sit on our asses with computers and tablets and electronic devices and the internet and all of this. And having those around would make it worse, because we wouldn't be doing our housework, we wouldn't be doing anything really, we'd just be lazy. And that's not a good thing. So the tech side of me loves it. I think it's fantastic. I think the technology is phenomenal. But the realist side of me realises that actually, no, that's never going to work. Not in a positive manner, it's always going to backfire. And the last question from Alex. It's been a while since you started grabbing vinyl. Are you happy with the transition to records, or are you missing CDs? That's a good question, mate. Totally honest, I'm absolutely loving it. I've not had any regrets whatsoever. I'm actually really enjoying buying vinyl records. It's fantastic. I've said before, music is like the biggest thing, more than gaming. It's the number one thing for me. And as I was younger, I used to buy CDs by the bag load. I used to go in HMV and just buy a stack of them on my lunch break. So now it's really nice to have a physical format to buy again, because I was thinking about getting back into CDs, never really committed to it, just carried on downloading digital music. And then what happened was, if anyone doesn't know, Alex started picking up vinyl videos and inspired me to give it a shot. And I thought, you know what, I've got some vinyl in my cupboard anyway, all the ones left over from when I was a kid. So I went and got a deck, started buying records, started buying new records, old records. Absolutely love it. I absolutely love it to bits. It's fantastic. It's a great way to listen to music, to experience music. I love when you get a gatefold and you've got the beautiful artwork and the sleeves, you've got the multicoloured vinyl. Just the act of putting, like everyone says in the vinyl community and just people who love vinyl in general, the act of taking the record out, placing it on the plate, lifting the needle, dropping it onto the record gently, that noise as it hits the record, it's just fantastic. The whole experience, and just sitting back, relaxing and enjoying your music. And that's what I see vinyl as. For me, that's when I actually want to enjoy music. It's digital music, CDs, fantastic when you're out and about, you're exercising, you're in the car, you're doing the housework. It's just easy to have it on as background to fill that space. But when I really want to indulge myself and enjoy that music and really listen to it, that's when I put my vinyl on. And I just kick back, turn everything off, play the record and just enjoy it and flip it and play it and just keep going and just keep milking that album. I mean, that's the thing with me and all. I'm very much an album-centric person, always have been. I've never been a person who skips. When I play an album, I play it from beginning to end, start again, beginning to end, start again. And especially if it's an album I absolutely adore, because I tend to get like that. I get a very addictive personality, which I'm sure you know. But when it comes to music, very addictive indeed, because I find that when I get an album and I really love that album, I just rinse it. I'll just play it and play it and play it for weeks and weeks and weeks, months, until eventually I get to a point I'd have to put it away, because I'm like, I need something else now because I've milked it too much. At the moment, my main album for that is Kid Rock's latest album, First Kiss, which I'm absolutely playing the hell out of. There is also another album as well, which I can't talk about yet because I haven't shown it in the video, but that will be coming up. Really great find that I got recently. But yeah, answer your question, no, not interested in CDs whatsoever. Some albums that come out, I don't have a choice, and this is something I have thought about, because some artists are coming out that I really want to get albums from. Unfortunately, they're not releasing vinyl, so I have to buy the CD, and that really jars. So yeah, I suppose you have to have a balance, but ideally I'd rather get everything on vinyl. Absolutely love it. And just as an aside, if anybody likes hip hop and R&B and you've not heard of an artist called Tink, check her out. She's absolutely fantastic. If you check out, I've got a music playlist on my channel now. So if you click on the music playlist, I think the first 3 or 4 songs are from Tink. She's coming out of Chicago and she's got her first album coming out soon. She's awesome. If you like old school 90s R&B and really good female rappers, then check out Tink. She's awesome. I think she's been produced by Timbaland as well, which is even better. So yeah, she's got, especially R&B stuff, man. Her voice is just awesome. So thank you very much, Alex. Thanks for the questions, mate. Appreciate it. And make sure you ask some more as well. Yeah, don't keep leaving it for weeks. Right, next questions are from Retro Shane 88. Thank you very much, Shane, as always. And Shane asks, what is your favourite game for the NES or the NES? As I said before, not had a real big experience with that console. Something I want to do in the future as well, because I really like the console. From the time I've had with it, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I can't really pick one game, but the games that I've thoroughly enjoyed the most were games like Shatterhand, Mario Trilogy, obviously, especially Mario 3, although I do like Mario 2 quite a lot. Batman, Sunsoft's Batman, fantastic game. And also the biggest one for me is probably Ninja Gaiden 3. I like Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, but Ninja Gaiden 3 was amazing. And also, likewise, Castlevania 3 as well. First one was great, I didn't like Simon's Quest, but number 3 was awesome. So I mean, I've got a long way to go with the NES library to really learn what games are available and to really get involved. But those are some of the games I enjoy. It's a fantastic console. Do you normally find games in the wild, or do you use eBay? For the most part, I'd say 99% is eBay. The only time it's going to be in the wild is if it's Xbox or PlayStation 1 and I'm at the car boot and there's somebody selling games that aren't FIFA. FIFA, wrestling, golf, it's usually bloody Tiger Woods, FIFA, wrestling games, racing games, F1. Yeah, but if you can get something good, I mean, there used to be times when you get good stuff, but nowadays a lot of it's either traders or people just won't sell it because then they can get money on eBay for it. But yeah, for the most part, it's eBay. What is your best pickup in the wild? I'm trying to think. There's a couple that come to mind. One was Eco for the PS2, which, from what I come from memory, I got from the car boot a couple of years back, and the girl wanted £2.50, and I haggled her down to £2, which was a bit out of order, but it was just instinct. I didn't even think about it. I just went, yeah, just take £2 for it. She went, yeah. And I was like, go on then. This was when, I don't know how much Eco goes for now, but at the time it was going for a few quid, and I managed to sell it to a fellow YouTuber for about 16 quid, I think, which was quite nice. What else was it? I got a PS1, the PlayStation 1 Slim, for 50p at a car boot. Oh yeah, of course, the best deal I ever got in the wild has to be at the same car boot which I go to in Cheddar. There was a guy selling a load of stuff that he got from a house clearance, and I just happened to clock this machine out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, that's not what I think it is. And I walked over and I was like, oh my god, and it was a Sega Genesis high definition graphics model, and he wanted 10 quid for it, and I got him down to 8, and it was the console with John Madden, and I think that was the only game that came with it, and I can't remember if it came with a controller or not. I think it might have just been the console and that was it. But you know, 8 quid for a high definition graphics Mega Drive, well, Genesis, was just phenomenal. And when I got it home, I didn't know at the time, but I later found out that it was a non-TMSS model as well, so one of the ones that just boots straight to the game, so you get the better sound quality. So yeah, to actually see a Genesis in my part of the world was just phenomenal. I couldn't believe my luck with that one. Yeah, so I've had a couple of really good deals, and I remember got Marvel Nemesis, what's it, Nemesis something, the Xbox game. I managed to find that downtown, and Call of Duty 3 as well. I found those both in Game Station, which I was well chuffed for, like a couple of quid each. Those were some of my favourite Xbox finds, because those were tough bastards to find in the world. What is your best find on eBay, and what was the biggest disappointment? Oh, Jesus. Not the best find is hard saying, to be honest, mate. I mean, I've been doing eBay for so many years now. I'd say the biggest disappointment was back in the early 2000s when I started collecting, and I bought a Panasonic Q. Now, if anyone doesn't know, you probably all know anyway, but a Panasonic Q is a special version of the GameCube that plays DVDs, and it's silver and it's got blue lights, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Very expensive bit of kit these days. I picked one of those up from a UK seller and it didn't work. It was dead on arrival. I was well pissed off, and a load of aggravation because she was adamant that it worked, and I was like, no, it doesn't boot up or anything. So that was a major disappointment. In terms of the best thing I've got, best deal, I honestly can't think of anything. I've had so much stuff off eBay over the years. Oh, yeah, of course, the best deal ever is the one I've said before, which was the Final Fight Tough, or Final Fight 3 in the Japanese market for the Super Famicom, for $24 US, which was at the time £12. Box complete, mint condition. I mean, immaculate, look brand new, from China. So it probably was fake, but yeah, I was proper chuffed. Especially as I later managed to sell that for 70 quid, so that was quite nice. The reason I sold that was because I had 3 copies at the time. I went a bit mad and just bought I bought 2 other copies for £100 each, and then I got this one for 20 quid, $24, so 12 quid. Yeah, that was kind of bittersweet in a way, I suppose, but at least I got a profit out of it. What was right? Sorry. Why do eBay sellers, particularly in the UK, charge an arm and a leg for postage when it takes a week and is poorly wrapped? Now, that's a good question, mate, because as someone who does occasionally sell on eBay, I would say it's not actually possible to charge an arm and a leg, because I find a lot of the time that eBay is a total bastard for sellers. They seem to penalise sellers big time. And the reason I say that is because when you want to sell, say I want to sell a Super Nintendo game, or even I just want to sell an Xbox game in a DVD case, and I want to send that first class recorded, I want to put it in the box, pack it with bubble wrap, making sure it's all wrapped up solid and it's secure and everything. I take that in the post office. That's going to cost me £4.40 for first class recorded delivery. I only ever send it recorded because I don't trust people, because I've had people before say that it's not arrived and all this bullshit, and yeah, people are like that. They're trying to scam you in the UK, unfortunately. So yeah, £4.40 first class recorded. eBay will only allow me to put £3 for delivery. So automatically, before the item even sells, I'm £1.40 down. I've then got to pay 10% to eBay. I think it's 4% to PayPal. You know, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how people make profit on eBay. I really don't understand how they do it. Recently in particular, I found selling on eBay to be a total lot of pain in the arse. And I'm just sick and tired of doing it. It just seems like everything's against you and you're a seller, and you have to constantly cover your ass with the way you write descriptions and everything. With mine now, I take photographs of every little bloody part of the item. You know, even if it's a minor little blemish, I'll take a photo of it. I'll mention it in the auction, make sure everything's crystal clear so they know exactly what they're getting. Because I have had people piss me off in the past and rip me off and con me when I've sold things, which really pisses me off because I'm a very honest person. And so I get very annoyed when people take the piss like that. So yeah, so I'm on the flip side there, Shane. I understand your point of view, you know, obviously because I buy more than I sell, but yeah, eBay are not friends of sellers whatsoever. If you could erase a console from history, which one would it be? The Nintendo Wii, because we wouldn't have the Wii U, and Nintendo would probably make a better system and go down the right path. Because I think from the N64 onwards, it was downhill. The N64 was a great console. The GameCube was a good console. You know, had some great games, had some brilliant exclusives, but it wasn't. To me, the N64 and the GameCube are not on anywhere near on par with the NES and the SNES. Those two consoles are Nintendo consoles. Those are phenomenal consoles with amazing first-party and third-party support. Massive libraries of so many great games that you can name. So many great memories, and they mean so much to so many people. You know, the GameCube and the N64 were just good consoles. They were decent. You know, they had good graphics, they had good controllers. I think what anyone says, I love the N64 controller. It's brilliant. And they had some really great games, but they had like a small library of great games, unlike the SNES and NES, which had absolutely hundreds, if not thousands, of amazing games. And then the Wii came along, and that whole ethos of casual gaming just ruined it for me. You know, Wii Sports is fantastic, and GoldenEye works really well, and there are occasional games that work really well with the Wiimote and Nunchuck. But long term, it's lethargic trying to use that control system. It just doesn't make gaming fun. And the Wii U has just been a total balls up as far as I'm concerned. I've tried to, you know, the Nintendo fan in me has always tried to defend that system, and has always been like, no, it really is a great system, but I've come to realise it really isn't. It's a bit of a cock-up, and it's a shame. I mean, no disrespect to anyone who loves the console, you know, we're all different, we all like different things for different reasons, we all hate different things for different reasons. I personally, I've just fell out of love with Nintendo's Wii U, and the whole Wii ethos just doesn't work. They need to reboot, and I'm hoping when the NX comes out, it's not going to be another variant of the bloody Wii and a continuation. It's going to be something fresh. Yeah, I don't hold much hope, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm hoping I'm completely wrong and they surprise me, but I know what Nintendo's like in their history over the past few years. I just don't trust them. Okay, so here we go. Who is the best chauffeur? Gaza, Pingu, or Stevie Wonder? My instinct's going to have to be Stevie Wonder, because he's such an amazing artist that he would sing to you and he could entertain you while you're on the road. Of course, Gaza would entertain you in his own interesting way. Pingu wouldn't really offer much because he's a penguin. You probably couldn't drive the car, never mind talk to you or, you know, anything else. So yeah, I'd go with Stevie Wonder, I think, on that one. What will Gaza spend his recent compensation on? I wasn't aware he got any compensation. As I said, I don't really watch the news that much. Unfortunately, alcohol is probably the obvious answer. I hope to God he doesn't. I hope he spends it on rehabilitation and gets his life back on track. You know, without being too serious, I think that'd be the best thing. What are your thoughts on the axing of Never Mind the Buzzcocks? I wasn't aware it had, mate. To be honest, it was okay. But for me personally, I always preferred it when Martin Marr was the host. I used to think he was fantastic. I mean, I used to watch it religiously when he was the host. But over the years, when he went, it was alright. Then that Simon Amstel doing it, he was quite funny. And then it was just sort of lots of different guest judges. And I used to just dip in and out now and again and watch it. I mean, I love Phil Jupitus and the Mighty Boosh bloke who's Noel Fielding. I think he's hilarious. But I don't know. Yeah, it just lost its appeal for me over time. But yeah, it's a shame. Especially as we haven't got a lot of good stuff on TV as it is anyway. Who is the biggest twat? Katie Hopkins or crappy eBay sellers? I think they're on par, aren't they? No, it's got to be Katie Hopkins. Even shitty eBay sellers aren't as bad as Katie Hopkins. No one's that evil. Oh, brilliant. Right, next question's up from Mark. Sega sent me one. Thank you, Mark. First question is, okay, question for Keith's challenge. Who would be the best putter at golf? Gaza, Pingu, or Stevie Wonder? Pingu. I want to see Pingu play golf. I think that'd be awesome. It's almost like a Nintendo franchise in the making right there, isn't it? You know, just random animals playing golf. That could actually work. I mean, they put random animals in Star Fox, so yeah, why not? I'd go with Pingu. What is your favourite Red Dwarf season and episode? Not a clue, mate. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know specific seasons and episodes. I mean, there's bits that pop into my brain, like the Koi monster, which was absolutely brilliant. I love that. I really fun. There was one where Crichton, I can't remember what it was. He got the wrong head on, and there was like a room full of his heads, and he was being an arsehole, and he was like sticking a pipe in his genitals and stirring the drinks and everything. Which I thought, I love Crichton. He's my favourite character. So yeah, those are probably some of my favourite moments. that was brilliant. That was. Who's your favourite character on Star Trek? Ooh, that's a really tough question. It depends which Star Trek you're talking about as well. If you're talking Next Generation, then it's Mr. Data. Absolutely love Brent Spiner. I thought Geezer did an amazing job. Him and Worf, I love Worf. Otherwise, just in general, Captain Kirk, because he's just a total badass and doesn't care and just won't take any shit from anybody. And I like the fact you've got the balance of him being like that, and you've got Spock, who's the logical side and who takes more time to really think it through. I think that's really cool that they did that. But yeah, overall, the whole of the Star Trek universe, it's got to be Data. Data is just an amazing character. Do you like brie and bacon in a warm toasty baguette, a side of crispy with an ice cold pint of squash? Are you feeling hungry? That's what I'm going to be eating when I watch this. Brie? Damn, you're posh, ain't you? Jesus. That's a lot of posh cheese, man. I've never tried brie, mate, to be honest, but I would. That actually sounds really, really nice. Yeah. I'd actually probably swap the cold pint of squash for a cold pint of Foster's. That would probably be even better. Just cleanse the palate a little bit. But yeah, that does sound really tasty. And it depends on the crisps as well, which ones you're going for. We're talking Walkers, Doritos, or Pringles. Although Pringles, to be fair, I don't know what's going on with Pringles. Bit of a side note, I had some Pringles the other week. Bearing in mind, I did have 2 tubes over 2 days. But man, I felt like shit afterwards. They really screwed my stomach up. I don't know what was going on with them. I mean, to be fair, Pringles, their logo, you know, once you pop, you can't stop, is true. Because I literally can't. I just power through the whole tube. And that could be why I felt like shit. I don't know. But my God, it gave me a bad stomach. I was in so much pain. What's more annoying? A controller that has a loose bit within it that keeps rattling, or an N64 stick that continues to move if you booted it up while holding it? I'd say a controller with something inside that rattles. It'd drive me crazy. I'd have to take it apart and find out what it is, because that bugs the hell out of me when you're like that and you just like, it's just rattling. That would irritate me. I can work with a stick because I think there's some way of stiffening it, but yeah, it's only wrong. But what is your favourite retro game console? Box, not console. It's probably gonna be. It's probably with Super Nintendo, either Street Fighter 2 Turbo Pack or Mario All Stars. That, or even the US Killer Instinct. There's 2 Killer Instincts. There's one purple and another one. I think the purple one was the one that I really liked because it got more characters on it and more detail and colour. Those were fantastic boxes. But I'm really torn with that one. I'd probably go with Mario All Stars because the UK PAL Mario All Stars pack is all yellow and it really looks nice. It's like a massive version of the game box. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'd go with that one. When movies have a sequel, do you like them to have a subtitle or more of an old school feel and say the number? For example, RoboCop 2. But you can have both, because you can have Die Hard 2, Die Harder. So that kind of, you know, that pleases you on both levels there, doesn't it? It solves the problem, I think. So I'd probably go with something like that. What was Die Hard 4 in America? Because we've got Die Hard 4.0. Oh, what was the other title it had? No, I can't remember what that was. That's bloody annoying. But yeah, I'd probably go for a combination of the 2. Name 3 games with product placements in them. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I can't think of any. No, I can't. That shows how much impact it has on me, mate. I don't even notice it, to be honest. I mean, Call of Duty probably won because it has all the guns in there, and they're like real guns. So they had the product placement for that. So that'd be one of them. I honestly can't think of any others. But that'd be the only one that could really come to mind. Okay, have you heard of the game Hatred? Yes, I have. And the UK is allowing it and giving it a green light for release over here. It's a messed up theme for a game. Yeah, I saw a video of it and it's different. I'll give it that. I don't really see the point in it. I mean, it is a bit of an old school traditional video game in the way it plays by the look of it. But yeah, basically, from what I can remember, if it's the one I'm remembering right, it's just the objective is you just go, it's just a guy on the rampage just killing people. And yeah, it's not really right, is it? I mean, it's a tough one because there has to be a line that has to be drawn. You know, you can't just allow absolutely anything in entertainment. You have to be responsible to a level. And I don't really see that game being particularly responsible. It all depends on the context of the story and how they actually handle it. Whether or not it is that you're just controlling somebody who loses his shit and goes out and murders people, or if it's going to be a commentary on that kind of society and that we're building. You know, whether it's supposed to be like a commentary on America's society and their gun culture, I don't know. Or if it's just purely the fact they just want to make a game about a lunatic, could be. But you know, it's interesting that's been allowed over here. I'm surprised. There doesn't seem to be as much censorship on games in this country for some reason, which I find a bit odd. You know, but then again, yeah. I keep hearing good things about Mad Max. Is that your thing? I've never seen a Mad Max film in my life. I've seen the first three when I was a kid. From what I can remember, Thunderdome was my favourite, which apparently most people don't like that much, but I really enjoyed that. You know, with Tina Turner, great film. I've not seen him since I was a child, so maybe it might not be as good. I know I saw Twit the Shredder recently, Lloyd. He watched the first film on Blu-ray, but apparently the Blu-ray has got, it's an American release with some weird American dubbing instead of having the Australian accents for some weird reason. So he said he's going to try and get a DVD original release because the Blu-ray put him right off the film, which I can totally understand it would me too. So yeah, I mean, I really want to see the new one. The trailers look amazing. I haven't had a chance to go and see it, and everything I'm hearing and I'm seeing and reviews I've seen online, people are absolutely raving about how amazing this film and what an amazing theatrical experience it is to behold. So yeah, I'll definitely be getting to see that sometime. Any films that seem really popular growing up that you've never watched, but it seems the world population has seen? I've never watched Star Wars all the way through, all three of them. I've watched bits of them and they were shite and they just didn't, no disrespect, but I've made it clear before I'm a Star Trek fan. Star Wars, the whole sci-fi fantasy thing just doesn't work for me. Fantasy in general doesn't work for me. But I'm trying to think, films that people... The only other one, but I actually got to see it a couple of years back, was Blade Runner. And sorry, Cojones de Loro, Daz, if you're watching this, I really didn't like it. I thought it was crap. It did not work for me at all. I was just like, what is the fuss? I don't understand it at all. But that was the only ones really. I managed to get around to doing that. But yeah, maybe one day I'll sit down and watch the whole of the Star Wars trilogy, but it'd be really tough. Have you ever played Dance Dance Revolution in the arcades? I haven't, mate, no. That was a bit past my time. I never got to see those when I was in the arcades. Probably good because I made a twat of myself doing that. Okay, I'm telling you, Pete, someone in the industry is sub to you. Really? Well, one person is Soul Funk Retro, so I know Matt is. So that's one person anyway. A few weeks back I mentioned that they should do vinyls of game music, especially the dancing game. Yeah, they're doing the Streets of Rage one, aren't they? Now I hear this may be a thing. Wouldn't that be a cool thing? What do you think? Absolutely, mate. I saw it on Johnny Millennium's channel, Happy Console Gaming, the other day. And I must admit, I think they're going to be 20 quid a pop. But the Streets of Rage one, man, that sounds like a really nice idea. And yeah, if I had the cash, I'd be buying that because you know they're going to go on eBay for an extortionate amount. People have been milking that one. But yeah, that looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, great idea. More of that, please. That'd be nice. What's the most valuable part of a retro game? The box art and sleeve, the manual, or the cartridge, and why? The most valuable part's got to be the cartridge or the disc. Obviously, because without it you can't play the game. Depends how you look at it. That's the way I see it, at least anyway. I mean, the whole thing to me is what creates the value. In terms of actual creating value, obviously having the whole package, the box, the manual, the lot, is what increases the price. But the actual value, really, if you're not talking monetary value, it's got to be the actual physical game cartridge or disc, because without it you can't play it. Okay, do you actually own a 16-bit console currently? If not, will you invest one in again later? Yes, mate, got Super Famicom still. That's going nowhere. I can't buy games for it at the moment, but I will be in the future. And so, without doubt, Super Nintendo is me. That's, you know, if I didn't have any other consoles, I'd still have a Super Nintendo at the end of the day. So that's priority. Do you see AVGN video, his video with the VHS room that he'd recreated? It was an amazing. Do you see yourself ever going back to collecting VHS? Charity shops are not expecting them now, so maybe this is when they're going to go up in value. I don't know if that's the recent video he put up. I didn't get to watch it because he got some guy I'd never heard of who gone around his room. But I have seen his video room before in a previous video way back. And yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's like going back into an 80s video shop. It's pretty bloody awesome. I won't personally ever get into VHS. I can't be doing with all that. I'm happy where I am with video games and vinyl and Amiibo. Amiibo's crippling me as it is. So yeah, the big thing that put me off VHS as well was a few months back now, and I went to watch Masters of the Universe. I've got an old Masters of the Universe VHS from when I was a kid, which, by the way, no one is listed on eBay for some reason. I actually had to search around the internet to find this VHS because nobody seemed to have any knowledge of it, which is a bit weird. But I watched an episode off the tape, which was actually really, really good. It actually held up quite well. But then I went to take the tape out, and the tape got stuck in the VHS, in the recorder, in the VCR, and I was like, nah, screw VHS, I'm not getting into that. But I can understand the appeal in terms of collecting, because when you got them on the shelf and you got them fixed spines, they look epic. So from a visual standpoint and a nostalgic standpoint, yes, absolutely, they're a great idea. But I think in terms of old formats, Laserdisc is probably the coolest thing to go for. Just the players are a pain in the arse to get hold of, because apparently they can be damaged in transit or something. They can't. So yeah. Okay. Are there any VHS that you want to see on DVD, Blu-ray that haven't been done yet? True Lies. They keep saying it's coming, it hasn't come yet, and that is one I definitely want to get on Blu-ray. It'd be fantastic. You have to be careful with Blu-ray though. I find, you know, especially if it's like 90s films and they've got a lot of CG, it can ruin it. It can make the CG look really shitty. Like Independence Day look god awful. It looks so bad on Blu-ray. I hate it. Not in terms of picture quality, just in terms of the CG. You can tell it's fake. It just looks stuck on. Especially the bits when the buildings are blowing up and they're running towards the screen. It looks absolutely awful. So yeah, that's when older, lower resolution formats like VHS and DVD are much better in that respect. But yeah, I'd love to see True Lies come to Blu-ray. That'd be awesome. I did read months ago that Elijah Dusko was doing the commentary. She's been recording it, so it should be coming out eventually. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but that needs to come out. Do you know there is a new Tony Hawk game coming out? It looks really good from the teaser. Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. And I'll be honest, mate, the screenshots didn't look that phenomenal to me, not as good as they should do, because it is on Xbox One and PS4. I was expecting a lot more from it graphically. I was really excited about it because it's a proper Pro Skater game, they're going back to its roots. But then I started hearing all these cobblers about you can fire things out of his feet or some bullshit. And I was like, oh God, what are they doing? Just stop with the gimmicks, man. I want to play a classic Tony Hawk. You know, I want to have an arena to skate around. I want to get points. I want to find the secret tape. You know, I want to do it old school. That's the Tony Hawk that I love, and I hope that more people are the same as me in that respect. I'm assuming they are because they're rebooting it. It's the right thing to do, because after number 4 it went downhill for me. I did not like all the underground games and all the other Tony Hawk games. Never did get around to playing Ride. I was always fascinated by that one, but yeah, the Pro Skater ones are the best. But you know, I'll keep my eye on the new one, see how it turns out. It might surprise me yet. Funny enough, next question is about Tony Hawk Ride. That's weird. I've never played Tony Hawk Ride. Neither have I, mate. Have you? And is it as bad as they say it is? There you go. No, I haven't, because of the price of it. I don't know how expensive it is now. I'm assuming it's a bit cheaper because obviously got the massive bloody skateboard that comes with it. But no, eventually I want to give it a try actually, because that would be really cool to play. And the final question: do you think you could do a video gaming vlog just once this summer? I know it's awkward out and about. maybe early in the morning or at sunset when it's quiet. What do you think? I could. It just depends what I'm going to talk about and what subject matter. Maybe during E3 would probably be the best time, because I like making videos, as you know, in E3. That's my favourite time to really crank out the videos. I tend to go a bit mad and just talk about the press conferences and everything else. So yeah, maybe that would be really good. Yeah, it'd be really cool to do a video, if I could, to get up really super early, which is really bloody hard, and to film the sun rising in the background. That'd be awesome. Yeah, just see it just coming over the horizon. You know, because the sun down here where I live, the sun is so bright, it's ridiculous. And at night time, when it's dark outside, I mean, it's dark, it's pitch black, you can't see anything in front of yourself, you can't see your hand in front of your face, and all you can see is the stars, and the moon is really big and bright. It's absolutely awesome. So yeah, maybe, mate, I don't know, I'll have to see what I can think of. I'm not very not very creative, unfortunately. I'll do my best, but you know, maybe we'll see what happens. Cheers, Mark. Right, next set of questions come from Stroopwaffle in the Netherlands. Thank you very much, mate. And first question. Oh, just get comfortable. First question is, what is your opinion on the Nintendo 64? I think it was good for its time, but aged poorly. As I say, mate, I think that was really the beginning of the end for Nintendo. I really like the console. I absolutely adore the controller. I think the controller is one of the best controllers ever made. For some reason, a lot of people disagree with that and I hate it. Me personally, I've always really enjoyed it. I think it's a really comfortable controller to use. Really well designed, excellent. And I like the fact that it comes in multiple colours as well, which looks great. I love the look of the console. When you RGB mod the console as well, it looks absolutely stunning. The games age really well and they look beautiful. I know a lot of people, you can argue either side about the 3D graphics of the day, but I think Nintendo 3D's aged better than PlayStation 3D because it had that little bit more horsepower. And Mario 64, especially when you RGB mod the console, looks absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I really like the system, and it is a system that's always on my radar, and it's something I always think about getting again. If I do, it will be an RGB moddy one. It's just debating whether I go American or Japanese. I'm not entirely sure. Because then Japanese boxes, man, they're so sexy. Although I would get an American copy of Star Fox because I can't play the Japanese version because the speech drives me insane. But yeah, as I said before, it's got a small library of amazing games, but it's a very good console. The GameCube is one of my favourite Nintendo systems of all time, primarily because Nintendo did a lot of original things with their first-party titles, like Zelda and Metroid. What is your favourite GameCube game? Mario Sunshine, hands down. Absolutely adore that game, mate. I really want to one day sit down and finish it. So I got about halfway through, I think, when I first played it when it came out. Absolutely love that game. I never understood, like years later, when people were saying how bad that game is and it was crap and they hate it and they hate the water, I don't know what you call it, the backpack with the jets of water. I thought that was such a cool idea to use that backpack. You know, it was just phenomenal. And my favourite level that I got to was one where there's those chain link fences and you have to grab on them and walk around and move around, and it was just an absolutely stunning looking game. I really enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, absolutely got Mario Sunshine. Recently I watched one of your older videos in which you said that you couldn't really get into Super Metroid. Has your opinion of the game changed since then? Yeah, I did, well, God, about a year or so ago, I did try and play it because I had the American version at the time. I don't currently have it on the Japanese market, so maybe I will one day. Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be to get into. I'm just not of the mindset of being able to play a game where you have to go back and forth and explore. It just never been a sort of game that I can really get into, but I actually quite enjoyed it last time I played it. I did get stuck not working out how to do a boss, so I didn't get very far into it. But yeah, I would definitely like to give it another try. It's a beautiful game, and the soundtrack, fantastic, really cool. It's just, unfortunately, it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication, something I don't really tend to have a lot of, unfortunately. Okay, what do you hope and expect we will see at this year's E3? Wow, lots of VR. Really excited to see the Morpheus. More than anything, augmented reality, I'm really more excited to see what Microsoft are going to do with HoloLens and how that's going to integrate with Xbox One. Because Phil Spencer said they're bringing it to show what that's going to do. That is the thing that really is the focal point for me this E3. I'm fascinated by that technology. The more I see about that technology, the more intrigued I am as to how it's actually going to play in the future and if it's going to take off, how it's going to become a part of our everyday life. I really do think that's got massive potential. Google Glass obviously started all of this, but I think this is where we start to perfect what Google were trying to do, and Microsoft onto a real winner in that one. Other than that, obviously the games are the most important thing. Uncharted 4, I want to see a gameplay of that. Number one thing from Sony, I want to know what David Cage's Quantic Dream team are working on. For me, that's the most important thing because I absolutely adore that developer, and I think David Cage is an absolute genius. And you know, I'm in the minority there, but I think the guy's absolutely amazing, and I love his vision for gaming. Microsoft side, I just want to see lots of new exclusives that we haven't heard of yet that are coming out. I'm loving the Xbox One at the moment. I'm really enjoying that console. I love the controller, I love the dashboard. The games look fantastic. They play really well. I love the little green cases. I mean, you know, superficial, but I do. They're fantastic. So yeah, the second biggest thing I want to see, gaming wise, is the gameplay of Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I cannot wait for that. That is a big game for me this year. Very excited to play that one. Nintendo, yeah. Obviously Star Fox, I think everyone knows that Star Fox is the one I'm watching out for. Don't have high hopes for it, I'll be absolutely honest, because going on the past 2 generations of Wii and Wii U and the history of Nintendo, and seeing games that look amazing and really excite me and playing them and being bored out of my goddamn mind, just makes me think Star Fox is not going to be what I want it to be. It's not going to be traditional. They're going to try and tweak it, and obviously they're putting motion controls, which they have. Me and Motorhead said you can switch off, thank God. But they're just going to be tailoring it towards the commercial audience as well, and I just the casual audience, should I say. I don't know. I've got a bad feeling they're going to wreck that game, and it's going to be another GameCube situation. I hope to God not. I hope I'm proven wrong and that they have listened. And what I would love to see from all 3 companies, Nintendo, I want to see because it came to light recently that apparently, according to Dylan Cuthbert, who worked on Star Fox, he has come out in an interview and said that Nintendo actually have a fully finished code of Star Fox 2 in Japanese. So there is a legitimate finished version of that game out there in Nintendo headquarters. And I've always wanted, and if they announced this, it would blow my mind. I've always wanted a remastered Star Fox for the Wii U. Or the NX, if they want to do it for the NX, that'd be fantastic. But what I wanted was a package. I wanted Star Fox 64, and I wanted them to go back and finish Star Fox 2, because the code that was released that I had on cartridge really showed promise. I really liked what they were doing and a different direction it was taking. I thought it had lots of potential. So to know there's actually a completed version out there, I would absolutely love to see them take all 3 of those games, remaster them into full 1080p, and just really, you know, add a few extras and make it look more modern. And yeah, that would be phenomenal. And then from Sony, I think everybody wants the Uncharted remaster. You know, they're hammering the remasters, but if there's anything they're going to remaster, it's Uncharted 1, 2 and 3 in a package. And 16-Bit J left a comment today in response to a comment I left on his video, making a really good point, which I've never even thought about, which makes perfect sense, was to put in Golden Abyss on the PS4 as well in the package. Because a lot of us haven't got Vitas now, but really want to play that game and aren't willing to shell out all of that money, like a couple of £100 just to play Golden Abyss. So that would be phenomenal. Get all 4 games on one package. Even if you have to charge, I don't know, 60 quid, maybe 55, 60 quid, I'd pay it if I had to. It'd kill me, but it'd be worth every penny. And Microsoft, what I would love to see, never going to happen in a million years, just on a completely random thing, would be Microsoft to come out and say, we've got Last Guardian as an exclusive for Xbox One. Because it would just make me laugh. Because of all the shit that's gone down with Sony and this bloody game, and it never coming and seeing the light of day to this day now. It'd be really funny if we found out. I mean, it can't, because I think is it Sony Santa Monica that's making it. I think it's actually one of Sony's developers, so there's no way in hell that's going to happen. But it'd just be hilarious if they jumped ship and they'd sold it to Microsoft. I'd love random stuff like that. We never get really shocking news like that. It'd be amazing. And one other thing I would love to see at E3 this year, total, never going to happen. Freedom Fighters 2 gets announced, whether it's an exclusive to one of the consoles or it's a multi-plat game. Please, somebody make Freedom Fighters 2, because I've wanted that for so many years. That would be cherry on the top, really. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. We'll wait and see what happens. As far as what I expect to see, more of the same. Lots of great games to convince people why they need a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, and Nintendo to just be in their own lane, doing their own thing, not really giving a shit about the other stuff. If you could go back in time, what is the one thing that you would do differently? Only one thing, that's really, really tough. Well, if it's one thing, it's going to be the obvious thing, and that would be to stop wasting money and to just buy a Super Famicom, a Mega Drive, and just collect for those two. And then maybe a few years down the line, when I've got like hundreds of games for both of those, I'm pretty content with what I have, move on to another system. And then when I finish with that one, and I'm content, move on to another system, and be a lot more sensible instead of spending literally thousands of pounds wasted back and forth. I mean, it's been fun, I've enjoyed it, it's been a great ride, don't get a lie. You know, I love collecting, I love gaming, so it's been a laugh. You know, it's never put me in a position where I'm really in absolute dire straits. But yeah, that is one thing I would definitely change. Get my financial situation sorted out better. In your last video, you mentioned holograms as the possible future of video games. I agree that would be so awesome. How could you imagine these games to be like? It would have to be like Star Trek's holodeck. This is where I'm hoping that Microsoft's HoloLens can kind of lead the way into that, where you can have that immersive experience, because I think that could work. Because you're aware of the reality, but if you can have the HoloLens project an image all around the room, so that it takes the only reality you're going to have if someone walks in the room, you can have a conversation with them. But to be that immersive, like the real true holodeck situation, where you can go back to you can be like a 1930s detective, and you can dress in the gear and wear your HoloLens, and it projects all of these characters, and they've all got AI. That would be phenomenal. I mean, it's a long way off, but I don't see why they couldn't do that. To have a full interactive experience, to have that Quantic Dream David Cage experience, but to be actually not using controllers, to just be able to walk around and talk to people, investigate, pick things up, and oh my god, that would blow my bloody mind. So that's what I would like to see. That would be awesome. What would you guys like to see, actually? If holograms are the future, what would you like to see happen gaming wise? Let me know down below. You're stranded on a desert island with only 3 games. Which games would you wish there to be? Super Mario World, Uncharted 2. Damn. Oh, that's tough. Time Crisis Arcade Cabinet, the first one. Yeah, because I don't think I could get bored of playing those 3 games, so definitely them 3. That's pretty good. I thought it was going to be a tough question then. Who is your favourite video game villain? Recently, it'd be Zoran Lazarevic from Uncharted. I thought he was so well done. I can't but know the actors that played him, but he did an absolutely amazing job. He was so charismatic. Really, really enjoyed that a lot. Other than that, God, man, it's really hard when you're put on the spot with questions like this, because there's so many games that we've played over the years to just try and pinpoint it. I'll just stick with Zoran Lazarevic, because the geezer is amazing. What retro game would you wish to get a modern remake? Well, as I say, the Star Fox games for definite. I would love to see those remastered and remade. But I want a new Final Fight. It's been too long. We had Final Fight Streetwise in the 128-bit gen, and that was a bloody awful game. It was a mess, and had very little to do with the original. So yeah, I would love either a Final Fight 4 or a complete Final Fight reboot. That would make me a very happy man. If not, give me a new Pit Fighter. I would love that. I'll probably be the only person that buys it, but that would be amazing. And what games are you currently playing? What was I playing last? I'm still dabbling with Watch Dogs on the Xbox One now and again. I've done most of the side missions now, so I'm a bit stuck for things to do, so I've got to find new things to do. So I'm sort of driving around the city really. And I completed Black again for I don't know how many times I've done that now. I completed that on the Xbox the other day, which is fantastic. Playing a bit of Mario World, that's in my Super Famicom at the moment. And yeah, that's it really. I need to crack on with the Xbox games really. I need to start playing a few more of those now. But that's what I've been playing recently. They're fantastic. Oh, and I just got Body Count for the PS3. And I started playing that today. I remembered why I hated it. It was pretty terrible. Right, thank you very much for the questions, mate. I appreciate it. Right, okay. Next questions come from my good friend Lloyd, who's never asked a question before, so thank you, mate. Tweet the shred. Absolutely awesome YouTuber. Definitely recommend checking out his channel, guys. Awesome bloke. And, okay, here we go. So, he's left me a couple of questions, and his first question, which I'm worried because I've left some difficult questions on his Q&A. So, I'm worried what he's going to come at me with here. Right, assuming you didn't have to restrain, what is your dream job, realistically and fantasy based? Oh, you're going to go for both? Right, okay. Fantasy, I've always wanted to be, work for MI5. That would be my ideal job. Not so much in the field, more of like an analyst and, you know, doing all the investigation. And I'd find that absolutely fascinating. I couldn't handle it in the field like Jack Bauer style. That just, no, that's too much pressure. Reality-wise, if I'm honest, yeah, I'll be brutally honest, either a TV presenter or be absolutely massive on YouTube. I'd love that. I mean, to do YouTube full-time as a living, I envy people that do that in a way because I think it'd be fantastic. It really gives you that perfect work-life balance, which I need. So, yeah, that's it. Either be a presenter on a gaming, whether it be an online program or a TV show, more than likely going to be online these days, or, you know, just get on a podcast or something. Just, I don't know, I just want to get out there and do something more, you know, really just put myself out there and really push myself. Very much inspired by Kind of Funny, because those guys have gone out on their own, done their own thing and made it exceptionally brilliant, and they've become extremely successful out of it. So yeah, you know, those are the kind of guys that really, you know, give you that oomph, that push. They definitely inspire me. The YouTube gaming community is a trend with talking about regrets. Let's put a positive spin on it. Have you ever done anything that you thought you would regret, but ultimately didn't, for better or worse? Gaming and in general. Oh, have I ever done anything that I thought I would regret, but ultimately didn't? Well, number one would be selling my American Super Nintendo collection. There was always that inkling that I might think, oh shit, what have I done? And for some reason, stranger than not, I haven't. I've never ever thought that it was a bad idea. It was the right decision at the time, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. Is there anything else? No, I really can't. No, I would say that's probably the only thing that I can really think of. In life, I don't really have that many regrets. I tend to just make a decision and run with it. And, you know, if I change my mind later on, then fair enough. But, you know, I'm pretty much, I've always felt decisive in that respect. I might have not seem decisive, but if you think about it, I am. If I make a decision, I go with it and I'll just do it. I might turn back around and change my mind later on and come back to it again. But at that particular time when I make that decision, I'll just go with it. I'm not going to just be like, oh, no, I better not, just in case. Just do it and see what happens is the best attitude, I think. Okay, I dream of seeing Lara and Nathan in a game together. How likely do you think this is? At the moment, unlikely, because obviously Microsoft have got a bit of a timed exclusive with the new Tomb Raider game. But yeah, ultimately in the future, that has to happen. If they could somehow do a crossover, and I'm sure it can't be that difficult to cross those two worlds over. If Naughty Dog and is it Crystal Dynamics that are working on Tomb Raider, I think it is at the moment. If both of those companies could put their heads together and somehow thrash out a deal, that would be awesome. Especially the way the new Tomb Raiders are going. If Rise of the Tomb Raider was anywhere near as good as the last Tomb Raider, hopefully even better, you know, taking the next level, then they're on to a winner. And I think, yeah, I would absolutely love to see the modern Lara Croft and Nathan Drake cross over in a game. That would be really, really interesting to see how they would do that, what the story would be, how the game would play. Yeah, I think you're on to a winner, mate, there. That would be fantastic. Is the illusion of freedom better than the knowledge of oppression? Very good question. I mean, that comes to things like Iraq, doesn't it, really? And you see what happens in that country when, you know, they, well, I can't really say they got freedom, but, you know, the oppression was taken away and it all collapsed. So it's a difficult situation, because you could argue that even though oppression is very bad, and people die from it, quite a lot of people get murdered from it. The illusion of freedom that they're given while they're being oppressed, it kept them controlled. So it kind of is a good thing in a way, which I hate to say, because it really isn't. As an outsider looking at it, we know it's evil and it's wrong. But as soon as when Saddam was taken out, then yeah, man, the whole country imploded, because all these people have never really had true freedom. They didn't know what to do with it, and the government that was imposed on them wasn't really capable of doing the job. It's a bit of a mess. I mean, I'm not getting into the whole Iraq war thing. For Jesus Christ, would be all week. It's a total, complete and utter cock up. But yeah, I'd definitely say there's an argument to say that the illusion of freedom is a good thing in a way, but realistically, humanitarianly, no, it isn't. It's these people, these dictators like North Korea, they need to be taken care of. You've got a thin line to walk here, because you don't want to be the world police. And who are you to impose your views on another country and say that our way of living is right and your way of living is wrong? We don't have that right to do that. It's not our place. So yeah, very difficult decisions need to be made. And I would hate to be a world leader in that. But that's why I'd never be Prime Minister. Well, there's numerous reasons why I couldn't be Prime Minister, but that's one really good reason, because that just really, really hard. I don't know if I can handle that. Can you ever see yourself making the transition to PC gaming? I strongly believe that console gaming doesn't have much of a future, and the PC gaming will ultimately take over. Well, I'm going to disagree with you there, Lloyd, because I think console gaming has got a long future ahead of itself. It's still in its infancy. We're in its teenage years at the moment. We're starting to mature, and we're trying to feel our way around and find where we're going. And I think that console gaming has got a long way to go yet. Me personally, no, I'll never get into PC game, no interest. The cost prohibitive, the constant upgrading, the pissing about with DirectX and all the other stuff that you have to do, and I just on the general level, it doesn't interest me. I just want to get a game, stick the disc in, sit down with a controller and play the game. I don't want to piss out. Windows is bad enough as it is without having to play games on it. So no, I've never had any interest in PC gaming. I'll never be convinced to get involved in it either. Thoughts on hot food? What, in general? You mean like, you mean, I was going to say, that's a bit of a random question. You must mean spicy food, because if anyone doesn't watch Lloyd's really into his spices and his peppers and his chilies and all that. I don't mind it. I wouldn't be doing like habaneros and all the stuff that you eat, mate. I mean, that I ain't got that kind of palate. But I like hot food as long as it doesn't take the taste away. Because if it's all right as long as it's not a detriment to the flavour of the food, because the flavour is more important than the heat. You need to have that nice balance. But yeah, I do like heating my food. You lose both hands in a horrific accident. Do you live without games or attempt to play them with your feet? You bloody... I'd be using my elbows, mate. I don't care, whatever it takes. Use my chin or something. I don't know. I'd have to squirrel away and develop some kind of unique controller that I could use, because there's no way after all these years I could just give up playing. That would really suck. So yeah, I would definitely learn a way to do it. You love drums, why not learn to play them? Because I'm lazy and I have no attention span, and well, not in terms of learning the instrument, I don't have attention span. Of course, gaming I do. And yeah, I'm just not patient enough. That's the problem I've got, Lloyd, to be honest. And I don't know if I've got the rhythm. Although, to be fair, when I drum along to records, when I'm listening to metal, I'm usually quite good at keeping in time, so maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I did try and learn once when I was at school. We had a little music room for music lessons, and my mate Dave was a drummer, and he tried to teach me. And Jesus, man, it's harder than it looks. It's not an easy thing to learn. Thoughts on legalisation of marijuana? Well, I'll be absolutely honest. I think all drugs should be legalised. Everything. All the hard drugs, the lot. I think it's the only sensible approach is to legalise it all. That way you cut out all the criminality and the drug dealing. So all of that's gone. There'll still be elements of it. The black market will never completely die away. But you have better control over it. And I also think then people who do want to take drugs will have good drugs, if you can say that. What I mean is they won't be cut with stuff. They'll know what they're getting, and hopefully I would assume that from what things like documentaries and things I've seen in the past. I mean, I don't know that I don't have stats and everything, so I'm not an expert on this by any means. But as far as I'm aware, that would then cut down on the amount of deaths that happen. And I think it's an argument, a discussion that needs to be had. We need to have a really hard to do these days, but we need to have a mature adult discussion about the pros and cons of legalising drugs. And, you know, I mean, the government obviously would tax it and get loads of money out of it, so that's good for the economy. But I think personally, you're never going to stop people taking drugs, like you're never going to stop people smoking and drinking alcohol. So you need to find a way to actually, you know, to make it more adaptable to society. Because, you know, cigarettes, they put pictures of people with no teeth and black gums, and they put literally right on the packets now, smoking will kill you, and people still continue to smoke. So nothing will stop somebody who wants to do it, who's got that addiction. Only they can stop themselves from doing it, and drugs are even more difficult to get off, obviously, especially with hard drugs. But it's strange for me to say, but on that particular subject, I am actually an advocate for legalising all drugs. Even though I hate the smell of marijuana, to be honest with you, it does my nutting. I can't stand when people walk past me smoking weed. It proper irritates me. And I can't stand people who think it's really cool and they're all hippie about it. It's like, just smoke your weed and enjoy it. You know, don't be such a twat. What was the last book that you read? Honestly, I've got no idea, Lloyd. I haven't read a book for years, and that's really bad because I went through years ago. I really got into reading books again, and I was reading loads. And I'm just looking at the books up there. I don't even know what the last one I read was. I think, well, the last one I tried to read was Tony Blair's biography. I never got around to finishing it. But the last one I actually completely finished reading, if I remember rightly, was No Angel by Jay Dobbins, which is a DEA drug enforcement guy, and he went undercover with the Hells Angels. It's a fascinating story, and the book is absolutely phenomenal. Really interesting read. I'd highly recommend that if anyone's got any interest in that subject matter. Yeah, because I like to try and, you know, read up on a lot of different subjects and watch a lot of different documentaries. I watch a lot more documentaries than reading books these days, which isn't really, you know, I mean, it's a good thing. You should do that. You know, keep the brain going, educate yourself, but also need to read as well. So yeah, that's. But I think that's definitely the last book I read. Cheers, Lloyd. Thanks for the questions, mate. Right, okay. I'm just going to take a quick break, guys, because I need to get a beverage because my throat is getting bloody dry. So it won't be a moment. Right, guys, back in the room. Got a drink because I'm absolutely parched. So that's better. First you weren't doing this, you know. Right, okay. Next set of questions from the one and only Keith Hewitt, the man, the myth, the legend. So here we go. First question up is, thank you very much, by the way, Keith. Cheers. I want a big shout out to Keith and all. Thank you for doing the thumbnail for this video as well, mate. Appreciate it. Very cool. So first question is, loved last week's video in the garden. Cheers, mate. Ever considered filming a video on a mode of transport? Yes, as I say, that is something that potentially could happen in the future. We won't say. Apologies, guys, by the way, for last week's video. I didn't realise how bad the wind was. When I was sitting there, it was alright, it was quite mild. And then I watched the video back and I was like, oh crap. But hopefully it wasn't too painful to listen to. But yeah, it was quite strong, the wind, unfortunately. What's that noise? Oh, that's my ear, or the TV's humming. I think it's just my ear, I've got a buzz. Oh well. You're decorating. The pot of paint is teetering above a fluffy llama with a waggly tail. Okay. And a sealed Japanese Super Nintendo atop 200 sealed games. Not sure they actually sell them in Japan, but we'll go with it. Which one would you push it towards? P.S. The llama wouldn't die or be traumatised in any way whatsoever. It's going to have to be the llama. I ain't doing over 200 Japanese Super Famicom games. No way. Yeah, definitely the llama. Here we go. I love these ones. What is your professional opinion on the current state of the retro gaming scene in the UK? It's pretty bloody good, mate, to be honest. I mean, you look at Blackpool and all the guys there, and eventually I will get there, and I keep saying it, but I'm determined to get there next year. That's the plan, because I want to meet up with all my friends and all the people that I've never met, you know, all the people that hopefully watch these videos and my other videos and like my channel, and, you know, want to meet me in person. It'd be really awesome to like shake some hands, have some beers and some chats. And so I think the UK scene is actually really good. It's nice to see that camaraderie and that brotherhood, and, You know, there's so many people making so many friends, and everyone's just so polite and nice and friendly. I think the UK retro scene's really growing quite nicely. You know, I mean, the Americans have got a massive country with thousands, well, millions of people, and they've got loads and expos to go to and stuff. And we get Blackpool and Manchester, so we're getting better, we're growing, you know. And there's a lot of us doing it now. There's a lot of people on YouTube as well. So yeah, we put our flag in the sand, I think. Okay, assign the following profiles to any YouTuber. Someone who enjoys repairing games, accessories and consoles. That would be Gadget UK. That's a guy I became aware of recently, really nice bloke. Enjoys trading retro gaming stuff. To UK. He's a bit of a geezer, so yeah, Stu. Comments on every video that you do. Oh mate, there's a few people. Who can I pick? Just, well, you can't pick one person out of that, like, because there's a few people that regularly comment all the time. So, I don't know. Oh, we'll just go with 16-bit J, because he's a new guy making videos and he always comments. So we'll go with 16-bit J. Makes random YouTube videos. Oh, I don't actually watch anyone that makes random videos. They're all pretty much the same sort of subject, so that's a tough one for me, mate. I don't know. I'd have to pass on that one because I can't think of anybody. Have you seen my blog? You're obsessed with your blog, Keith. I will eventually, mate. I will get there, honestly. One of these days I'll shock you and I'll actually read it. See my YouTube video. You're making YouTube videos? I didn't know you're making vids, Keith. Oh, in that case, mate, I'll have a look. I wasn't aware you were doing that. I'm assuming they're food-based, so that'd be interesting. What is currently your favourite series of videos on YouTube? Mine is definitely Ask Snes. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. At the moment, what's that? Oh, God. I'm trying to think of people that make series of videos. I mean, the one at the moment I'm really enjoying is, I think it's called What's Up Twit, remember right, which is Lloyd, Twit the Shred. He does a whole hour-long video, which is absolutely brilliant, where he'll talk about what's going on in his life, what games he's been playing, what films he's been watching, what music he's listening to. He'll take questions from the audience. It's absolutely brilliant, and he does loads of really cool editing as well, which always makes sense. He's always getting pissed on the video, and all, which is quite funny. And he drinks like hard liquor as well, so Christ knows how he managed to do a Q&A and talk about his life when he's that hammered. Blows my mind. I think Lloyd's absolutely brilliant. He's such a nice bloke, one of the nicest blokes on YouTube. And I do count him as a friend, and I've known him for quite a while now. Really good guy. So yeah, that's the only series of videos, like a regular series of videos I can think of at the moment. Oh, and of course Inside Alyssa White as well, because Alyssa White also does her own Q&A, which I always really enjoy. She's absolutely brilliant and gives some really great answers, gives some good questions. So there's the main two I'm thinking of at the moment, yeah. What's your favourite aircraft in a game? Mine's the helicopter from GTA 4. Jesus. Aircraft in a game. Oh, that's really hard, mate. I'm trying to think now. What? The only thing that's coming to my mind is pilot wings. And that's about it, really. And more on the 3DS. I really like pilot wings on the 3DS. But yeah, like the hang glider. I'll go with that because I can't honestly think of many games with flying vehicles, which is strange, or aircraft as they're known. That's flying vehicles. Those magical flying vehicles, yeah. You need to choose one of the following activities to do with the character that you last played in a video game. Right, so what was the last bloody game I played now? Was it Black that I played last? It was when it was Black. So it's Sergeant J. Keller. Okay, this is not going to be good. Okay, so it's romantic candlelit meal. Okay, go-karting race or ride atop. Hang on, ride atop even fun? What do you mean ride atop the character? That's a bit dodgy, isn't it? I think as he's a military guy, I have to be a go-kart race. I think it's the best one to go with that one. Have you ever been tempted to start a collection of ornamental houses? Not yet, no. I don't know how the hell you keep going up with this stuff. What is the top of your bucket list? Oh, Jesus. Mostly to travel. That's the thing I need to do because I've not done it and I'm getting old. Well, older. So, yes, definitely travel. What's the hottest food that you've ever eaten? I've never eaten really, really hot food. So, like the hottest you're going to get is like jalapeno peppers, which is not that hot. But, yeah, I'd go with that. Have you ever been so drunk that you've lost track of where you were? Many a time, mate. Especially when I was in my teens. I got completely off my tits and yeah, not a good scene. Not a good way to see me like that. It's always those ones when you wake up next morning and you can't remember how you got home. You don't remember the taxi ride or anything. You just sort of left town and somehow magically got home. Yeah, that's not a good state to be. It's fun at the time though. Okay, the speed and far away that you answer difficult question astounds me. Is it something you've always been good at, or is it only since doing these videos? I don't know, mate. It must be just a natural thing, really. I've never really thought about it. I'm just quite good at doing that. If someone asks me a question, I usually have an opinion on it. I might not know all the facts and everything, but from my limited knowledge, I'll do the best I can to answer it. But yeah, I must admit, I'm impressed because some of the questions I get from yourself and others, and they stump me, and I don't know how I come up with an answer sometimes. It just sort of happens. But yeah, I don't know, in normal life, I'm usually alright because, yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of documentaries, I used to read a lot of books, I watch a lot of videos on the internet, on YouTube, and so I have a bit of a varied knowledge about a lot of different things. I might not know a lot in depth about a lot of subjects, but I know little bits about lots of different subjects, so it does make conversation a lot easier, I think, if you do that, because, you know, you don't have to know every little detail about a subject, but as long as you've got a broad overview, and you know what someone's talking about, at least you can have a conversation, because then you can ask them questions and they can teach you, which is a good thing. Where are we? What is on your Xmas list? Not even on my radar at this point, mate. I haven't even thought about Christmas. More than likely, I would predict it's going to be Amiibo based, because there's bound to be some more by the end of the year. And maybe Rise of the Tomb Raider, if I can wait that long. Yeah, I'll probably say those. Because you know there's going to be some amazing Amiibos at the end of the year. It's just guaranteed. There'll probably be some amazing Star Fox Amiibos or something. What current gen console or handheld would be worth the most in 2030? Probably the 3DS. Because the question is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, are they going to be working in 20 years' time? Or 15 years' time, should I say? I would bloody hope so, but you never know. But depending on what happens and how people look at it, it would probably actually be the Wii U, because it'll be another GameCube situation where it's got a small number of games that people really enjoy and are very collectible, you know, namely the first party stuff. So yeah, so like your Yoshi's Woolly Worlds, your Star Fox if it's any good, Mario Kart 8 that everyone loves, and several others, and then if the Zelda game comes out, that one as well. So yeah, maybe, I think, yeah, that's probably the one. Yeah, that should be worth the most. It'll be most collectible anyway. Except for birds in the background, have any other animals ever appeared in your videos? I can't remember myself. No, just birds and that annoying bleeding dog, which I'm filming at night time, so that's why it's quiet and you can only hear me, which is nice. Have you got a Dreamcast yet? No, I haven't. It's still, yeah, on the sidelines. I definitely would like to get one back in the future, because that is like a lot of the Nintendo stuff. It's one of those consoles where it's got a selection of games that I absolutely adore, and I love to pick up and play nature of it, the arcade nature. So yeah, I'm not going to say no, because I probably will get a Dreamcast in the future. The Sardinian Mafia are after you for possession of an incriminating sealed Super Nintendo game that contains top secret coding hidden in the one-off manual. What do you do? Hide. What else you gonna do? Run off to a secret little island somewhere and just make sure they never find out where I am, and cut myself off from the grid, so I'm completely isolated. That's the best thing, yeah. Have you ever been tempted to purchase a cave for the garden? Not really, because I ain't got any grass, so it's kind of pointless. Yeah. Last week's Ask Snes shows that you're becoming maybe a bit more relaxed about your collecting. Is it true? I.e. the emulator floppy drive. Yeah, I think I definitely am more focused. I think I'm starting to head like Ninja Bear, who did where it just gets to the point you just want to play the games and enjoy them. And I still love the collecting. I still get that buzz. And as I say, when the future comes and I've got money, then it'll be a different situation because I will be buying like crazy because I'm going to get Super Famicom collection up to date. But yeah, I am more of the mind of just enjoying playing the games. I mean, with the Amiga especially, I just love the games and they're so nostalgic. And it just makes perfect sense to have that balance with that system and with the Commodore 64 as well, to just have a digital solution. Going forward, because of the media of tapes and discs, floppy disks, it makes more sense. So yeah, I am becoming a lot more relaxed about it all, I think. Choose a career. Home horticultural expert or a beard designer? You sarky bastard. I'll go with beard designer. Yeah, because beards are the big thing at the moment and they seem to be quite trendy. Everybody seems to be growing more. With mobile gaming now in its stride, is it making dedicated handheld systems less relevant? No, I don't think so, because they still offer completely different experiences. Handhelds still offer that big multiple hour experience, whereas a lot of the mobile stuff, I mean, I don't really play the games, but from what I know of them, are very much, you know, pick up and play, like Candy Crush and your Flappy Bird and all that. It's just pretty much just instant gratification in the 5 minutes you've got, or in your lunch break, or at the bus stop, or on the loo. So I still think handhelds are relevant and will be for quite a while. Nintendo will make sure of that. A group of architects enlist Pete, Snestastic, me, to suggest a console unit to inspire house design. Which console do you choose? Immediately I'm thinking PlayStation 2, fat, because it looks like a tower block with an extension. So that could work. Or maybe the NES would be it'd be a bit 60s builder, that would, wouldn't it? It'd be a bit depressing. All concrete and yeah, wouldn't look too nice. It'd be a bit flat, but the Mega Drive, try and make one out of that. But I think realistically the PlayStation 2, because as I say, it looks like a big tower block with an extension on the side. So it's got some kind of nice architectural look to it and it's not too depressing. That's an amazing question, man. I have no idea how the hell you came up with that one. What is your favourite retro first-person shooter? Doom. Doom and Wolfenstein combined. Yeah. It's really actually quite tough when I think of it, because you've got Wolfenstein 3D, you've got Doom, Quake 2 on the PlayStation 1, which I absolutely love. Never a big fan of Quake, I prefer Quake 2. Then you've got Quake 3, which I absolutely love that game. Unreal Tournament, phenomenal game. GoldenEye, another classic. But yeah, it's going to have to be Doom and Wolfenstein. I mean, that's what kicks it all off. And those games were so much fun at the time. And they still are. They've aged exceptionally well. But I think Wolfenstein was brilliant and showed what could be done. And Doom just perfected it and ran with it. And so I'm going to go with Doom, definitely. Have you ever been to a gaming convention expo? Not yet. But as I say, Blackpool, that's the one I want to go to. Are you a fan of mushrooms? I'm getting into them more. I know, you know, it's funny you ask, because I honestly never liked mushrooms other than on pizzas and just combined with other food. I never liked them on their own until recently. In the last couple of years, I've started to really like them. Like when you have a breakfast, and I'm never a fan of mushrooms, but there's a cafe in town called the Cafe Gold. If anyone lives in Weston or you ever visit Weston, check out the Cafe Gold on the what do you call it? The damn it, it's not Broadway. I've got Broadway in my head and it's not right. It's what the bleed knows the name of that place. Anyway, it's downtown on the main strip down the bottom by Argus and Lloyd's TSB. Oh, Jesus Christ, my brain's gone blank what the word is. Anyway, look it up anyway, Google it. Cafe Gold do the best breakfast in Weston. It's absolutely phenomenal. And they're not paying me, that's just free advertising. I've tweeted about them before, they're phenomenal. Their breakfast is delicious. And if you like black pudding as well, which I absolutely adore, they do an amazing black pudding. But they're mushrooms, I don't know what they cook them in, but I don't know if it's butter or something, but Jesus man, they are so tasty. So yeah, in recent years I've really got into mushrooms and liked them a lot. and they make a really nice part of my old fry up. It's really, really good. Boulevard, that's what I was thinking of. I don't know where Broadway is coming from. Yeah, check out the Cafe Gold on the Boulevard in Weston-super-Mare. If you're ever down this way, guys, that's where you want to get your breakfast from. It's phenomenal, and the black pudding is just exceptional, and the bacon and the sausage and just everything, and the eggs. It's just, yeah, it's just so good. What game do you most associate with the following animals? A caterpillar, horse, ant, or penguin? Right, okay, so what game do I associate with caterpillar? Pikmin, maybe. A horse, Barbie Horse Adventure. Ant, Pushover. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. Penguin, probably James Pond. Yeah. I'm well chuffed with that Pushover one. That was good. Have you ever been to the end of the Western Pier? I have indeed, mate. I don't go on the pier now because it's bloody expensive, and it's for tourists. So yeah. So as a local, I just avoid it completely because it's just ridiculous. And you can't take sandwiches on there. You have to buy food on the pier, which is bullshit. So no. Oh, we've got an Ellen Page question. It's been a while. Ellen Page or a lifetime supply of free roast dinners every Sunday? Oh, mate, now you're asking. The problem is with Ellen Page, it's just going to be a friendship thing, and it's not a relationship. So I'll take the Sunday dinners all the way. If there's a possibility of a relationship, it'd definitely be Ellen Page. When was the last time that you went to a butcher shop? Probably when I was a kid. Yeah, I'll probably say butcher shops just don't exist anymore nowadays. Not around here anyway. We haven't got one. With the mass supermarkets and everything, the supermarkets have taken over, unfortunately. They've ruined the local butchers and the grocers and all the good stuff that we used to have when we were growing up, and the fresh food. So yeah, I would say when I was a child. Are there any local independent businesses that you support? Not that I can think of. MT Games was one, but I haven't been to MT Games in a hell of a long time, literally years. That's the only independent place I can think of around here, unfortunately. What was the last game that you purchased? Body Count, which came today for the PS3. Thanks for answering my questions. I'm sure to have laughed a lot by now. I hope so, Keith. What time of year do you buy the most games? That's a good question, you know. I've never really thought about that. Modern games, I would probably say near the end of the year, because like coming up to Christmas is when all the good stuff comes out. Retro is just all through the year, and it's no real particular time. But yeah, if you're talking like general modern games, then yeah, more Christmas, like the fall, the winter. Okay, and the last question from Keith. Or no, we've got two more questions. So first question is, what celebrities would you most associate with the following profiles? A blind pianist and singer. Oh, you might be Stevie Wonder, but I'll go with Ray Charles for that one. Claymation penguin who speaks in a garbled dialect. Pingu, maybe? Former successful football player that has now turned to booze. Most of them. But obviously you're talking about Paul Gascoigne. Long-haired ginger singer, popular in the 90s. Gina G. I bet you weren't thinking of that one. Or was you? Or maybe that's where you were going with it. I don't know. Most people will probably say Ginger Spice, but I'm going to go with Gina G, who are just a little bit. A few years back you did a Q&A. Was it as successful as this one? I never really watched them myself. Those were just when I hit milestones like 500 subscribers, and it was a way of, you know, saying thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my channel and try and give back a little bit so that, you know, they can sort of get a bit more out of the videos, a bit more interaction and get to know me and I can get to know them, which is what this whole series of videos is now about. So it's never meant to be anything other than just a thank you. And obviously now I've got to the point where I've decided to do this series, and this has evolved into something more than I had ever imagined. And you know, we're a year later and it's going really well, so it's fantastic. And it's all down to you guys as well. Because I've always said without you guys, it ain't nothing. Okay, so next questions. From Calder's Gaming, so thank you, Cal. Why do you think it's a common thing for older generations to look down on today's youth? I think it's just the way it is, mate. As you get older, you realise that you're becoming older. You start doing the things that you always thought you would never do and that your parents did, and you think, Jesus Christ, I'm really getting old now. And yeah, honestly, you do. I wouldn't say you look down on the younger generation. You just find it difficult to understand the younger generation because you have a way of doing things, and your generation do things a certain way, and have just different viewpoints. And when you look at the younger generation nowadays, from my point, I remember I'm only 37. I'm 38 this year. But when I look at the younger generation, obviously they're all being brought up with the internet and social media, and they don't play out on the streets anymore. They're always on their phones. They're not really conversating. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, on Instagram, and all the other social media. And it's really hard to understand this whole internet culture, and especially like the trolling and the people that are just evil bastards who just think it's funny to abuse women online, and they think that's hilarious. And I just think, what the hell is wrong with you? Seriously, you've got mental issues if you think that's right. I just find the whole youth culture these days very difficult to understand where they're coming from, and it ain't their fault. I think it's all down to the internet and the way that the society has been built up around the internet and media, the way that's changed, and the news in particular. I think they've all just been controlled and moulded to be a certain way, and to be more consumerist than any of us ever were. But yeah, I wouldn't say we ever look down on. I think we just don't understand. And trust, if you're younger than me, mate, when you get older, you'll understand, because you'll be the same way, looking down on the next generation that come after you. You said that you've not checked. Excuse me. You said that you've not checked out most of Slipknot's most recent stuff. Just wondering, have you heard the track "Snuff" off their 2008 album "All Hope Is Gone"? I don't know that specific song, but I'm pretty sure that I've got a digital copy of that album. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I've got that on my Zune. So I'll have to have a listen to that song and find out which one it was, because I know it was a great album anyway. If you haven't, highly recommend doing so, as it's something drastically different for them, but very moving, emotional and powerful song. Yeah, I'll check it out, mate. I'm pretty sure I've got that on my Zune anyway. If you were locked up in the bathroom, in the bathroom trap from Saw, who would you rather be in there with? Pingu, Stevie Wonder or Paul Gascoigne? I can't remember which Saw that was from, mate, and I've only watched the first 3 Saw movies, because the first one was amazing and then it just went shite from there. So I can't remember what that particular track was, if it's in the first 3 films. If it isn't, then I don't know what it is. But I know the sort of things that Saw was doing. So if I'm stuck in a Saw trap, if you got Paul Gascoigne and he's on a good day, you'll be alright. But if he's on a bad day, he's going to be very irrational, and it's going to be really difficult to try and calm him down and make a decision. So I would say Stevie Wonder, because he's going to be the most sensible, and he's going to be the one that's going to take his time and really think about the situation and try and find a way out of it. Yeah, I'll go with Stevie Wonder. Are you a fan of the Batman Arkham series? No, I'm not, unfortunately. I tried playing Arkham Asylum and I just really could not get into it. It's strange, I really enjoyed the demo. I thought the demo was fantastic. Played the game, bored the bloody shit out of me. I don't know, I found it really, really boring and just could not get into it. And it's a real shame, because I've heard that some of the other ones are really, really good. So maybe one day I'll go back and give them another try, but I don't know, it just didn't click with me at all. Sometimes games do that. You just put a game on, it just, for whatever reason, it doesn't work for you. There might be millions of people that absolutely adore it and don't understand why. But it happens on both ways. I mean, Heavy Rain is a game that I absolutely adore, one of my favourite games of all time. And there are a lot of people who do not like that game. So, swings and roundabouts, it's all good. Yeah. Are there any games that you love to death, even though you know they're a piece of shit? For me, it's Sonic R. I don't know if I'd be as that dramatic about it, but obviously a game like Pit Fighter, to most people, is a piece of shit. But to me, it's a very nostalgic game, and a game that I absolutely adore. And I can see why people don't like it, and it's not the greatest game by any means. But it's got so many memories with that game, and I just have so much fun playing it. So yeah, I absolutely adore that game, so I'll go with that one. Okay, Apple or Android? Neither. I'm a Windows guy. Funnily enough, I don't like Windows on computers, but I love Windows Phone. I don't like Apple as a company. I find them quite distasteful. Android is alright, but I'm not a big fan of it. I find it kind of boring to look at more than anything. I mean, it's serviceable, it does what it's supposed to, but I mean, this is an Android tablet as it happens, but on the phones, I just don't like the little icons. I just think it looks a bit shit. So I'm more of a Windows guy. If the main character of the last game that you played was out to kill you, how fucked would you be? Gonna make this a weekly question. Well, that would be Jay Keller from Black. So I'd be completely fucked, mate, because he would hunt me down and murder me in a very vicious and brutal way. So yeah, I would not like to have that happen at all. With your collecting, do you find that you put most of your attention into 1 or 2 consoles? As I collect for about 7 systems, but mainly focus on PS1 and 360. That is the intention. It never really seems to work out that way. But yeah, I mean, the Super Nintendo is the prime. That's the one I have to collect for. At the moment, the 2 primes are going to be Super Famicom and Xbox. I mean, Super Famicom's got to wait because I can't afford it, but Xbox is priority. So yeah, I do try my best to try and do that. And that's really what I want to do more anyway as I go forward, and try and work one system to another. So when I finish with the Xbox, I'll move on to get the PS1 up to scratch. And then hopefully by that time I'll have more money, so I'll be able to go and do the Super Famicom and work on that. And then once that's done, I can work on another console. I'm always in a bit of a dilemma, because personally I want to do that, but then I think visually for my YouTube channel, it's more interesting for people if I have a variety. Because otherwise, if I'm just churning out Xbox video after Xbox video, I don't want people to get sick and tired and be like, oh God, another Xbox video followed by another Ask Snes, and he ain't doing anything different. You know, variety is the spice of life, as they say. So it's a bit of a difficult situation. But then I just think, well, you know, it's my channel. I want to be as true to myself as I can be. And people like it or they don't, and a lot of people seem to like it. So yeah. Right, okay, so unfortunately my battery on my tablet is about to die, bloody thing. So I'm just going to take a quick nip into the other room, grab my charger, so I can continue with the questions. So it won't be a second. Okay guys, back in the room. Sorry about that. So I had to charge the Kindle because it was just about to collapse on me. Right, next set of questions are from Glenn Station. So cheers Glenn, thanks for the questions, mate. First question, Time Crisis, best light gun game ever? That's not even an opinion, you stated fact. Thank you, mate. You're absolutely right. It is awesome. What were the titles you got back in the day with your PlayStation 1? To be quite honest, I've never been able to remember how I come to have a PlayStation 1 or why I even bought one. And so I can't even remember what games I got with it. I mean, I can remember games that I got over time, but initially, haven't got a bloody clue. I mean, I had loads of games. I mean, you know, like everybody, I had a chip PlayStation back then. Perhaps I have one now, which is quite handy. So I played pretty much everything that was coming out. I was playing. You know, the Crash Bandicoots, Metal Gear Solid. I had a Japanese copy of that. That was hilarious. I didn't get anywhere. I got to the bit with Revolver Ocelot just before that, when that fat bloke sitting on the floor, and you're supposed to read the back of the game case to get the code. And me and my mate were just looking at it, and we could not work out what to do. We had to go online, and we was like, ah, shit. And if I remember rightly, we downloaded a screenshot of the back of the case to get the code so we could progress, but we didn't get much further because that game's impossible to play in Japanese. That was really cool. I love that. I just remember playing that and being absolutely blown away, just not having a clue what it was, not knowing anything about the game, and just somebody at the time, I don't know who he was, there's some guy, I don't know who he was now. I remember talking to him about it, and he was like, oh, it's brilliant, you've got to try that out. And I remember playing it and being like, bloody hell, a phenomenal game. When I got the American version in particular, I could play it in English. That game just changed my life at the time. It was fantastic. Likewise, Medal of Honor, when that first came out, I first got that, I didn't have a clue what it was. I just saw it on the list of games, and I was like, what's Medal of Honor? I went, oh, go on, I'll love a go at that, let's try that one. And I put it on, and I was like, man, and there's atmospherics kicking, you hear the dogs and the Germans in it. That was just sweet as. And another one was Ridge Racer 4. I don't think I was aware of the Ridge Racer series at the time. I remember popping in Ridge Racer 4 into the PlayStation, booting it up. That intro comes on when the car drives past the girl and it's playing that Ridge Racer theme tune. Man, to this day, that looks really good and sounds epic when you put it through some speakers. I love Ridge Racer Type 4. I love the whole Japanese style to it as well. And the little, in between the levels, you got all the text-based storyline, and it's just, oh man, that game is just awesome. So yeah, those were some of the games that I had. I mean, I had absolutely tons. So I had like a wall full of PlayStation 1 games back then. I love that console to bits. Same question, but PlayStation 2. Now that one I can answer, because I had a PlayStation 2 at launch, and right, let me see. So at launch for PlayStation 2, I got Time Splitters, Tekken Tag Tournament, Smuggler's Run, Silent Scope, and I believe Dead or Alive 2. I'm pretty certain I had Dead or Alive 2 at launch. I know I had it on PS2. And after that I got Grand Theft Auto 3, which blew my socks off. I'll never forget playing that, and the first time it rained, and I was just like, shit. I was awestruck. I was like, how is this possible? It just looks so, I mean, it's silly to say it looked realistic, but it did. It looked absolutely realistic and phenomenal at the time. Amazing game. Yeah, I really love that. But I mean, in terms of that, I didn't have a lot on the PS2 because I only had it for a year, and then in 2001 I switched over to Xbox. But I would say that year was really good, man. Tekken Tag Tournament was phenomenal. I remember playing it with my girlfriend, and I would just beat the shit out of her. Not literally, obviously, in the game. And then she just tackled me and gave up, and just that was really funny. I love Silent Scope. I thought that was phenomenal. But Time Splitters was probably the one. Time Splitters was really cool. That and Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run. I've talked about that bloody game so many times on my channel. That needs to be resurrected. We need a Smuggler's Run 3 or just a reboot, because Smuggler's Run is such a fun game. Both of those games are awesome. So yeah, those are the ones I had on PS2. Going on playability, would you agree that the 60GB launch PS3, the FAT, is the greatest console of all time? Think of the library of titles you could play, PS1, 2 and 3. Yeah mate, the 60GB PS3 was awesome, and I had one as well. Wish I'd never sold that bloody ring. But yeah, I must admit it was fantastic. Although I've got a PS3 Slim, and that does play PS1 games, but it doesn't play PS2 games. Work that one out. I don't know what the logic of that one was. But yeah, I must admit, it is pretty cool. But I wouldn't say it's the greatest console of all time, because that's the Super Nintendo. Ain't nothing beating that one. Alright, thanks for the questions. And next set of questions come from Susie Sunshine, which I can't say, or Scribble Sam. So thank you very much, mate. And first question is, what is your opinion on playing retro consoles on high definition TVs? My mum suggested that I get HD TV for my birthday, and to be honest, I don't want one in case my retro consoles look crap on it. I heard people talk about how crap they look on HD TV, or how good they look, or what they need to use to upscale it to get a decent picture. What is your take on it? My take on it is, don't do it. If you can have a CRT and you've got the room for a CRT, it's always the best option, because that's what the games consoles were made to run on. They were designed for CRT TV, so they look absolutely brilliant. Obviously, if you haven't, then there's options for HD TVs, like Retron 5 is a really good option. You can get those scalers, as you say, which are not bloody cheap at all, they're quite expensive, and they do seem to do a phenomenal job. But for me personally, I'll never play a retro console. I've tried it and it looked awful. And you have to have it, or at least I have to have it in 4x3. I can't have it in 16:9 stretch, it looks shite. So I have to have bars left and right. So that's why I got the CRT TV, because there is nothing better than a CRT TV, a nice juicy RGB SCART lead. You're onto a winner. But obviously not everyone can have CRTs, because they are a pain in the arse to fit into your room. I'm very lucky in that respect. But yeah, ideally use a CRT. If not, I would say the best options are going to be upscalers or Retron 5, which is obviously extra cash, unfortunately. Okay, it's not out yet, but what is your opinion on the upcoming Retro Freak console? It's like the Retron 5, but also plays PC Engine games. So that's that one I saw recently, which is coming out, was it like another year? It's the Japanese one, isn't it? I saw Johnny Millennium talking about it recently, and I saw it on Twitter as well. Actually really cool, mate. I mean, the PC Engine, if it works as well as like Retron consoles do, then yeah, fantastic idea. I must admit, I really like the idea of having the PC Engine addition to it as well. When they get on to the N64 as well, you want to a winner. I suppose eventually somebody's going to do PlayStation 1, that would be fascinating, see how to do that. Especially if they had a slot loader, that would be really nice. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. I'm more interested in the VGC, whatever the hell it's called, the retro VGC in it. The one that looks like a Jaguar that's got brand new games coming to cartridge. That, like I said last week, is the retro console, modern retro console that for me personally really, really excites me. I'm fascinated to see what happens with that one. Have you ever watched Elf? Mate, I grew up watching Elf. Elf is one of my all-time 80s favourite shows. I actually watched it like last year on YouTube, and it's actually aged better than I expected. It's kind of weird now as an adult watching it, because it's clearly a bloke in a suit, and he's got like a real strong New York accent, and it's really, it's quite a bizarre program. When you watch the first episode, it's like, what the hell is going on? But I thought it actually stood up well. It still works. It's quite a fun show to watch, and I've always wanted to get an Elf plush. There's loads of them on eBay. I want to get a big Elf plush for my game room, so that's definitely something I've got to pick up at some point. But I absolutely love that show. If anything, I would love to see them bring that back and do a modern take on it. That would be really cool. When you look at it, I think the costume they came up with, really, really cool, man. Iconic. Alf's a great show. Would you ever eat 20-year-old breakfast cereal from the 80s for nostalgic reasons, or would you rather be more concerned about your health? More concerned about my health. I'd rather have the box on display than eat it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to take that risk. What is your opinion on Samantha Mumba? Now that's a random one. I can remember getting fed up of hearing her song, Gotta Tell You, when CBBC were playing the song to death. But ironically, after rediscovering the song years later on YouTube, I started digging it. Also, she's pretty. Mate, she's not pretty, she's hot. She is an absolute stunner. That's my opinion on Samantha Mumba. She's fit as anything. I don't... Was that the song, the main song that was... I don't remember it being called that. It might have been another song that I remember of hers. The first song she came out with, which was alright, it wasn't too bad. She also does acting as well, doesn't she now? She was in that Time Machine movie with Guy Pearce years ago. Never did get around to watching that. But yes, Samantha Mumba is fit as anything. So, that's all you need to know about it. Have you ever fancied making your own James Rolfe style movie? As I said, I couldn't do that. I've no idea where to even start, but I would love to do a documentary if it was ever possible. As I said, I think last week was it, to do it, or might have been the week before, to do a documentary where I go around meeting all of you guys. I mean, I know like people like Conis that I do Meet the Tube, which is absolutely brilliant. I love that. But I just think it'd be fantastic. I see how much enjoyment Daz gets out of doing that, and I think it'd be a fantastic thing to do. Just to travel around the globe and just meet the people and just thank them personally, for watching the content and subscribing and just, being either watching it or just leaving a comment, following it up, just being really great people. It's really nice to interact on a personal level with the viewers of your videos. And my throat's going now because I've been talking for so bloody long. This is easily my longest video on YouTube by far. It's sure as hell the longest Ask Snes episode. So congratulations to anybody that's sticking with this. And have you watched Teddy Ruxpin yet? I haven't yet, mate. It's on my watch list, but I will get there. Right, next questions are from Nat Kennedy Breeze. Thank you very much, Nat. And first question is, okay, three types of game RPG, point and click adventure, and sports management sim. Which one would Pingu, Paul Gascoigne, and Stevie Wonder be a fan of? That's hard. Well, we'll give Paul Gascoigne an RPG. It has to be an action RPG because he wouldn't get very far. Stevie Wonder can have a point and click adventure because there is ways that he could do that. And Pingu can do sports management. Yeah, that's the right way to go. Scotch, Irish whiskey, or bourbon. Yeah, that's right. Scotch, mate. I've got Scottish heritage, and I grew up on whiskey, like Scottish whiskey. So yeah, Glenfiddich's the one. I absolutely love that stuff. It's killer. I can't drink Scotch nowadays, I'll be honest with you. I haven't had it for years because I used to drink it neat. I don't do all that rocks crap and mixing it. You definitely do not mix good Scotch with like lemonade and all that. You do it with bells and like all that famous grouse crap, but not with the good stuff. But yeah, I do like a glass of Scotch. Unfortunately, I used to drink a lot of it when I was younger, so it kind of had a bad effect on me. Back to the Future series. Oh, no, I missed one. Best metal band ever, in your opinion? Lacuna Coil for me, mate. There's a lot of bands that I love, and those bands I've seen live would blow my mind. But Lacuna Coil is still my absolute favourite band of all time. I absolutely adore that band to bits, and I got to see them live once, and I was very happy to do so. So yeah, I'll go Lacuna Coil. Back to the Future series or Ghostbusters series? Back to the Future. I like Ghostbusters, but I love Back to the Future. I recently went and watched Back to the Future 2 again on Blu-ray. It's fantastic. I've got to watch number 3 now. It's just something about those films, man. The timeline, the story, the characters, the interaction between Marty and Doc, and Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox was so brilliantly cast in that movie. And just the way they handled time travel in that movie, the DeLorean, the constant flicking back to the 50s, I love that. And number 3 in particular is, number 2 is still my favourite film, but I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards number 3 these days. I really love the Old West. It's just such a great film. It's just a perfect trilogy of movies, really. It really is perfect. And if they ever remake that, they need shooting. That's just wrong. What is your favourite limited edition crisp flavour? Not a clue, mate. I haven't got a clue. So I'll just go with my favourite crisp flavour, which would probably be sour cream and onion Pringles. But as I say, I had a bad situation with Pringles recently, so yeah, I won't be eating them for a while. Okay, so next questions come from 16-bit J. So thank you, Jay. Okay, so Stevie Wonder, Pingu and Paul Gascoigne, if they're in your zombie survival posse, what weapons would you give them? Paul Gascoigne would have a pint glass. Pingu, I don't know what you call it now. What do they use in ice hockey? Is it a stick or they call it something else? I'm not too sure what they call it. But whatever they use in ice hockey, use one of those. I probably do know it, it's just not coming. And Stevie Wonder, what we're going to give Stevie Wonder in a zombie apocalypse? Flamethrower. Yeah, Stevie Wonder with a flamethrower. If that'd be an amazing gift. That'd be cool. You put into a hotel, the valet awaits to park your car. Who would you rather park it for you? Stevie Wonder, Pingu or Paul Gascoigne? At the moment, my car's a piece of shit. I hate my car. So Paul Gascoigne, because I don't give a shit what happens to it. And it'd be entertaining as well. Right, next question's from 80 Sneaker Freak Steve. Thank you, Steve. Who asks, have you ever woken up after a heavy night on the beer next to a half-eaten kebab and decided to eat it for a handy breakfast while semi-conscious? No, not that I can remember, because I generally just get through it when I'm pissed. I never, when I'm drunk and I'm hungry, I don't leave food behind, Steve. I eat it and I don't stop till it's gone. Especially kebabs, because man, I love kebabs. So yeah, not that I can remember anyway. Would you ever consider laser eye surgery? No, all these are for, it's just for long distance, like when I'm driving, and also for when I'm watching TV and using computer screens and playing games. It's just to take the strain off my eye, because my left eye is a little bit weaker. My right eye's perfect, but my left eye's a little weak, so I can't see distance. That's all they're for. Generally, I can just walk around without them, no problem at all. Plus, the idea of having a laser blasted into my eye is not really something I like to look up. Would you consider doing a cookery series on YouTube? If I could cook, yeah. Which I can't. What is your favourite cocktail, and have you ever tried? I just tell that. Say that. Is that limoncello, and Bailey's over ice? Well, it's got Bailey's in it, so no. Bailey's is evil. It's just, that's a woman's drink as well. It's just nasty. Having said that, it doesn't matter. It's a woman's drink because I like baby shams, so what the hell. But favourite cocktail? Oh my god, I don't know. I used to go to a bar in just outside of Shirley in Birmingham. Can't remember what the name of it was now. And they used to do cheap cocktails early in the evening. And we used to get there and get absolutely plastered. And we'd drink like, I don't know, 8 cocktails, a couple of shots of scotch. Christ knows how you used to get out of there alive. I remember the one night my mate fell asleep on the table, and yeah, we had to leave. But I can't remember what all the cocktails were called, but pretty much my favourite cocktail is any cocktail, because cocktails taste amazing. Right, okay, and then the last questions, guys, thank you very much for sticking with me. I'm amazed you got this far, but well done to you if you have. I'm sure some of you will be watching this in parts. But last questions come from Movies and Games 007 UK, so thank you very much, mate, appreciate it. And he asks, do you like Marmite? Absolutely not, mate, it's evil, disgusting, the most satanic food on the planet. Is vile. Do you sing in the shower? No, absolutely not. I can't sing full stop. So, who's your favourite Avenger? If I'm just picking one, it's Captain America, because he's just a badass. Do you remember old shops like Woolworths, Littlewoods, Index and Game Station? Yeah, well, we had a Game Station in town. We had a Game Station and a game, and then when game went tits up, they took over the Game Station, unfortunately, which ruined it. Woolworths, we had a massive Woolworths and all, and then obviously Woolworths went on then and out an online business, so that, I think Woolworths is now a Poundland, remember rightly. So, yeah. Out of all of the eras from the 1910s to now, what had the best looking fashion? It depends where you live. Because me personally, it would be the 20s and 30s, like the Charleston and the Chicago gangster. I like those fashions, and I also love 1950s American fashion. I think the men and women's fashion from that era, the rock and roll era, is so cool. Yeah, I just like all the quiffs and the stylish outfits. But I like the suits of the 30s, like the zoot suits and all that kind of thing, 20s, 30s style. But then I love the 50s rock and roll. I love like the big Buicks and all the really cool American cars. When you watch Back to the Future and they go back to the 50s and the women have got the big flowing dresses and they got all the hair done, and the men have got the quiffs and they're really dapper in their outfits, and just, yeah man, those are the best eras, definitely. Do you think Ubisoft are going over the top with new Assassin's Creed games, with a new game every 6 months? Unfortunately, mate, the demand is there, isn't it? I mean, people are buying them and enjoying them. And then it's Civil War, the new one, isn't it? And the new one looks awesome. I really wish I could get into Assassin's Creed and I was good at playing them and I didn't suck, because I really want to play that game. It looks amazing. Just like number 3 really excited me because it had the whole Boston Tea Party situation going on. And that was just historically fascinating to me, and I was really enjoying that game until I got stuck trying to find some dickhead in a tree. I got really pissed off with the game and gave up on it. Plus I'm just no good at stealth. I just suck. I try and play them and I just get caught every time and I just can't play and I get frustrated and angry. But yeah, I mean, they are milking the hell out of it, but it's only because, you know, the people want it. People keep buying the games, and as has always been said, it's down to your wallet. If people stop buying the games, they'll stop making the games, but that'll never happen. So yeah, they're just going to keep making them and making them and making them until people get pissed off, until it gets to the level of Call of Duty where people are sick and tired of it. Even that bloody thing's going to sell this year. And last question this week, guys. If you could make an all-star fighting game, what characters would you choose? Simon Belmont, Nathan Drake, Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Kasumi from Dead or Alive, because I love her, she's brilliant. Eddie Gordo from Tekken. Oh, where else? Bloody hell. Looking for inspiration. And Mega Man, because he's really cool in fighting games. Yeah, I'll go with those guys. So there you go. Those are all the questions this week. Thank you very much for watching as always, and thank you to everyone who asked me a question. Always really do appreciate it, because as I say, this show is nothing without you guys. So thank you for supporting this show. Thank you for asking the questions each week. Hope you've managed to get through this whole video. It's a long video, and I really do appreciate that. As always, guys, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next Friday.